In the heart of Asia's waters, a brewing storm is capturing the world's attention. The South China Sea, one of the world's most strategically vital waterways, has become a flashpoint of rising tensions and international stakes. In response to China's growing assertiveness, a powerful alliance is taking shape. The United States, the Philippines, and Japan are joining forces to safeguard freedom of navigation and regional stability. For decades, China has claimed nearly the entire South China Sea under its controversial Nine-Dash Line, a claim rejected by international law and neighboring nations. In a move to counterbalance China's growing influence, the United States has strengthened its defense ties with the Philippines and Japan. These partnerships are not new but have gained renewed urgency. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement between the U.S. and the Philippines allows American troops access to key bases, while Japan has been bolstering its self-defense forces to support its allies. Japan led an annual multinational naval exercise that included the U.S. and Philippines as an observer for the first time, as Filipino Coast Guard vessels are increasingly harassed by China in the disputed South China Sea. The annual exercises that began Saturday off Japan's coast also included the United States, Australia, and Canada. Their aim is to demonstrate and increase ways the navies can work together and show their presence and commitment to defend a free and open Indo-Pacific, which the Allies say is hampered by China's growing ambitions that include sweeping territorial claims. On Saturday, a selected group of journalists, including the Associated Press, flew on an V-22 Osprey aircraft to the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier to observe takeoffs and landings of F-35C Lightning stealth fighters, as well as FA-18 Super Hornet jets and EA-18 Growlers. The Japanese destroyer Hyuga showed its presence next to the carrier. The Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group is now operating in the South China Sea, according to Pentagon imagery, while several U.S. Navy ships docked in Singapore over the Christmas period. USS Carl Vinson is conducting flight operations in the South China Sea. The Carl Vinson CSG comprises of carrier Carl Vinson, with embarked carrier Air Wing 2, cruiser USS Princeton, and destroyers USS Sterett and USS William P. Lawrence. The Carrier Strike Group is expected to make a port call in Southeast Asia soon, although it is not clear which country it will call. Carrier port calls are highly sought after among U.S. embassies due to the visits enabling embassies to showcase the United States and further promote engagements with the government of the country via activities with the docked carrier. The exercise comes in the wake of the latest confrontation between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea on Friday, adding to the territorial disputes that risk turning into a more serious armed conflict. The Philippines accused a Chinese Coast Guard ship and accompanying vessels of dangerous maneuvers and blasting a Philippine supply ship with a water cannon, while China defended its action as appropriate. Territorial conflicts in the South China Sea involving China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei have long been regarded as a potential flashpoint and a delicate fault line in the U.S.-China rivalry. The Philippines is an extremely important country for Japan, and we hope to cooperate with the Philippine Navy at every opportunity in the future, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force Commander-in-Chief Akira Saito said. He added that the drills are not targeting any specific nation and that the Philippines' participation was decided before its latest encounter with China. About 30 Navy ships and 40 warplanes from the four countries, as well as Philippine Navy personnel, are participating in the joint exercises that also address new threats such as cyber, space, and information warfare, Saito said. The planned ships visit for 4 days before resuming their tasking, according to the release. China's Ministry of National Defense has not issued any statements on the deployment of Hainan and its escorts. Planned ships have also made a number of transits past Japan while returning to the East China Sea, according to Japan Joint Staff Office reports. The JMSDF cited planned Dongdiao-class surveillance ship Yuhengxing at 6 p.m. Monday, sailing north in an area 74 miles northeast of Miyako Island, according to a Tuesday JSO release. Yuhengxing then sailed northwest in the waters between Miyako Island and Okinawa to enter the East China Sea. The planned surveillance ship had sailed southeast in the waters between Miyako Island and Okinawa on December 8, according to the release. Minesweeper JS Shishijima and a JMSDF P-3C Orion MPA of Fleet Air Wing 5 shadowed the planned surveillance ship. U.S. 7th Fleet Commander Vice Admiral Carl Thomas said that the vast majority of nations in this part of the world are like-minded and share ideas about maritime security and prosperity, and the more our navies work together, more multilateral our exercises are, the greater the security for this region. Thomas said the U.S. Navy deploys 2 aircraft carriers, the USS Carl Vinson and the USS Ronald Reagan, in the Pacific, despite unfortunate situations happening in other parts of the world. Japan and the United States have stepped up defense cooperation and also expanded it to include Australia and the Philippines. The Allies share concern about China's growing assertiveness and tensions over self-ruled Taiwan, which China claims as its own to be united by force if necessary. In early November, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. agreed to start negotiations on a key security pact that would allow their troops to enter each other's territory for joint military exercises. Japan also pledged a provision of surveillance radars to the Philippine Navy under a new military grant. One thing is clear: the actions taken by the United States, the Philippines, and Japan signal a commitment to a rules-based international order. Thank you for watching our in-depth analysis of the escalating tensions in the South China Sea. Stay informed about global developments by subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications.